Afternoon, both in South Africa and abroad. Members of the National Assembly are set to decide the future of President Jacob Zuma this afternoon during a motion of no confidence in him. Yesterday, National Assembly Speaker Gwede Mantashe announced that the vote will be held via secret ballot as requested by opposition parties. And this will be the 8th motion of no confidence in President Jacob Zuma after 7 previous ones failed. South Africa's political landscape could change this afternoon, and according to the Constitution, if enough members of the ANC use the secret nature of the ballot to vote with the opposition, President Jacob Zuma and the entire cabinet must then resign, and Speaker Gwede Mantashe will have to take over for up to a month until a new president has been elected. Well, it ain't over until it's all over, so says NC Secretary General Gwede Mantashe. He was speaking shortly after addressing the NC's Parliamentary Caucus meeting, called to fortify the party ahead of this afternoon's motion of no confidence vote.
ANC MPs and ministers were in a somber mood, passing cursory glances to the gathered media ahead of the caucus meeting. Although President Jacob Zuma was in attendance, he didn't speak. That was left to the Secretary General Gwede Mantashe and Chief Whip Jackson Mthembu. It's unclear what they said, but the mood was much lighter at the end of the 45-minute-long meeting. Despite this, Mantashe remains uneasy ahead of this afternoon's secret ballot.
I don't know, we'll know the outcome when the outcome of the vote is announced. That's the only time we can determine the outcome of the caucus.
He's hopeful, though, that ANC MPs are conscious enough to the repercussions of a vote in favor of the motion.
No, these things are not determined by confidence or lack thereof. They are determined by reality of whether we have conscious, not conscience, conscious members of the ANC politically who appreciate that this is not about the removal of Zuma, it's about dissolution of the ANC government in an undemocratic way.
Meanwhile, Chief Whip Jackson Mthembu will meet with his opposition party counterparts just ahead of the National Assembly sitting to resolve the voting and counting procedures. The opposition parties held their caucus meetings yesterday. Lukhanyo Khalada, SABC News, Parliament.
All right, let's cross live to our reporter on the scene, Lukhanyo Khalada, who's right outside Parliament. A very good afternoon to you, Lukhanyo. It must be a very tense afternoon there for you, but do take us through what the mood is like right outside the gates of Parliament today and in what is expected after the motion of no confidence debate.
Alicia, good afternoon. Yes, a very busy afternoon in Parliament, basically a very busy day. It started off this morning on my way into the office. I mean, there was security almost everywhere as you come up Plain Street, as you come up Parliament Street. It's been busy the whole day. Marchers started arriving from around 9 o'clock this morning. I mean, from where I'm standing, I can tell you that it's quite a loud sound and quite a loud noise, and that's just outside the gates of Parliament. On the precinct, it's never been as busy like this. Not even the State of the Nation address, we did not see it being this busy. We were able to speak to some political parties a little bit earlier on, and I can confirm to you that the chief whips of the parties, the ANC as well as the opposition parties, they're all currently locked in that chief whips meeting where they're trying to determine and ascertain to a large extent how this afternoon and the voting procedure as well as the counting will go. Now, I'm told that the opposition parties, the Democratic Alliance, the EFF, the UDM, they're all very loath to having the votes counted outside of the National Assembly, but obviously the ANC, it doesn't necessarily have a problem with the votes being counted inside. So as the hour approaches, 2 o'clock when the sitting starts, we've started seeing some of just ordinary South Africans, members of the public, making their way inside the National Assembly, to start taking their seats. That's where they'll be, to a very large extent, keeping an eye over everything that will take place, over the voting procedure, over the debate that's going to take place this afternoon. So we're also getting ready. The atmosphere is really electric down here, Alicia. And, I think as the hour approaches, everybody is just getting more and more and more excited. And I think also the fact that the Speaker, Baleka Mbete, yesterday declared that the vote take place through secret ballot has just, everybody is very optimistic. Everybody is quite hopeful that indeed their side, whichever side that is, will be victorious once the ballots are counted this afternoon. Alicia?
Can you talk to us about the various marches that we know are taking place in and around, of course, Cape Town and, of course, right outside Parliament? Has there been extra security measures that have been afforded?
Yes, Alicia, security is quite tight. It is really, really tight. I've never actually seen it like this. Remember, we've got two marches on Parliament this afternoon. You've got the opposition marchers who are all gathered towards my right, on the right-hand side of Parliament. And then you have the ANC march that is more to the left-hand side of Parliament. And they are cordoned off. I don't believe that those marches will coincide at any point. I think security is really tight, and obviously with the intention to try and separate the two different marches as much as they possibly can. We don't know, of course, what the outcome or how that will pan out once these decisions are taken inside the National Assembly this afternoon. Whichever side that feels aggrieved by the outcome of the process, could act in a manner that's unbecoming, and the situation might just spill over. We hope, of course, that doesn't happen. But yes, security is as tight as I've ever seen it in Parliament. Alicia.
Thank you so much for that live update. Lukhanyo Qalata, parliamentary reporter, right outside the gates of Parliament for us. Meanwhile, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Lechisa Tsenoli, says Parliament is ready for this afternoon's debate and vote in the motion of no confidence in President Jacob Zuma.